Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're jumping into something I think is going to be super helpful for all you UFN and Fortnite creative developers out there. You're making these amazing worlds, incredible game modes, just pure creativity. But let's be real. How often does that brilliant idea start to feel, well, chaotic? End up kind of drowning in tasks, maybe lose track of the original vision? Yeah, we've all been there. You start strong, then bam. Feature creep hits or deadlines slip or the workflow just gets tangled. So, today's mission: exploring how project management isn't some boring corporate thing meant to stifle you. It's actually about empowering your creativity. We're diving into different approaches, different tools, pulling from all those sources you shared, specifically looking at game development. Think of it as unlocking your project superpowers.
Exactly. It's about structure, but structure that serves the creativity. A design methodology fundamentally is just that, a structured approach. It guides your steps, your activities, your decisions, all the way through making a game. And in game dev, which is, let's face it, super complex, lots of different skills involved, always changing, well, having flexible, efficient models is crucial. It's not just nice to have, it's often essential.
Okay, let's unpack that. Before we get into specific methods like Agile or whatever, maybe we should sketch out the big picture, like the universal phases of making any game.
Good idea. That gives us the backdrop. So first up, you've got pre-production.
The planning phase.
Right. This is where the idea takes shape, you conceptualize, maybe do some concept art, figure out a basic plan. Our sources really emphasize those early documents here. You've got your high concept, that super short, punchy description, like 1 or 2 sentences.
Elevator pitch stuff.
Pretty much. Then the pitch, which gets more into the selling points, and the GDD, the game design document.
Which isn't set in stone, right? It evolves.
Exactly. It's a living document. And maybe most importantly, prototypes.
Ah, yeah, testing ideas fast.
Crucial. Even paper prototypes or just blocking things out quickly in UAFN with basic shapes, maybe a tiny bit of verse scripting. Test early, test often.
Makes sense. Then comes the big one: production.
Yeah, this is usually the longest phase. It's the building phase.
Art, programming, level design, sound.
All of it happening. And constant testing, quality assurance, that's key throughout. This phase leads up to those important milestones. Things like first playable, the earliest version you can actually play.
See if the core idea works.
Exactly. Then alpha, which generally means it's feature complete. All the main systems are in.
And beta.
Beta is usually feature and asset complete, so mostly bug fixing, polishing, getting it ready.
And finally, post-production.
Right, after release. Think patches, bug fixes, maybe new content, marketing, community stuff.
And for live service games like Fortnite itself, this phase never really ends, does it?
Nope. It's an ongoing cycle, updates, new features, keeping the community engaged. It's continuous development.
Okay, so those are the phases. Now,
Yeah.
where do the methodologies fit in?
Well, within those phases, we generally see 3 main categories. You've got Agile, which is super popular now, then the traditional Waterfall approach, and increasingly hybrid models that mix and match.
Mix and match, okay.
Yeah, and it's important to remember there's no single right way, especially in games. Teams often blend things because the work is just so creative and dynamic. Adaptability is the name of the game.
Got it. Let's dive into Agile then. It feels like a term big studios use a lot, but how does it really help, say, a solo UFN dev who feels stuck? Is it overkill?
Not at all. It can be incredibly helpful even for one person. Agile's core idea is responding to change over following a plan. Think flexibility.
Less rigid planning up front.
Less rigid detailed planning up front, yeah. The focus is on developing in short cycles, usually called sprints.
Sprints, like 2 to 4 weeks.
Typically, yeah. With regular check-ins. Teams, even a team of 1, are sort of self-organizing. You decide how best to tackle the work in that sprint. There's less focus on massive documentation right at the start. It allows for quicker decisions, frequent reassessment. You can pivot if needed.
Okay, I can see how that helps if you're experimenting in UEFN and discover something cooler than your original plan.
Precisely. The advantages are pretty clear. You get evolutionary development building things piece by piece, not all at once.
See progress faster.
Definitely. Regular visibility through sprint reviews is super motivating. You can adapt to changes, maybe player feedback, much more easily.
Easier to handle change requests than with Waterfall, I bet.
Much easier. You get faster feature implementation, quicker feedback loops. It promotes collaboration, even if it's just collaborating with yourself and your evolving ideas.
And less risk, maybe, because you're building in smaller chunks.
Yeah, breaking it down reduces risk significantly. But it's not perfect. There are challenges.
Like what?
Well, less documentation can sometimes mean knowledge gaps, especially if you bring someone else in later.
Right.
There's a risk of fragmented output, different parts feeling disconnected if you're not careful about the overall vision.
And the dreaded feature creep.
Oh, yeah. Because it's flexible, it's easier to keep adding just one more thing. Especially in UAF, where adding a new device or mechanic can seem so easy initially.
Guilty as charged.
We all are.
Yeah.
Measuring overall progress can also be tricky compared to a fixed plan, and honestly, it requires a mindset shift. You have to embrace the change.
Okay, so within Agile, there are specific frameworks, right? Like Scrum.
Yes, Scrum is a very popular, structured, agile framework. It really emphasizes teamwork, accountability, and that iterative progress.
But how does teamwork work if you're solo?
You wear all the hats. Scrum has 3 pillars: transparency, inspection, adaptation. Be open about your work, check it constantly, and adjust. It has roles, too: product owner, Scrum master, development team.
So I'm the product owner deciding what to build for my island.
Yep. Prioritizing your backlog of ideas.
I'm the Scrum master, making sure I don't get blocked by some verse bug.
Removing impediments. Exactly.
And I'm the dev team actually building it.
You got it. Scrum also has specific meetings or ceremonies: sprint planning, daily scrum, sprint review, sprint retrospective.
Planning, daily check-in, showing off the work, and looking back on how it went.
Basically, yes. It helps manage complexity, lets you respond quickly, and delivers working stuff in short cycles.
Okay, Scrum sounds organized, but maybe a bit much for a solo dev, just starting with this. Is there something simpler, like Kanban?
Absolutely. Kanban is often a great starting point, especially for solo creators or small teams. It's much more flexible.
How does it work?
Its core idea is visualizing your work and limiting your work in progress, WIP.
So you don't juggle too many things at once.
Exactly. You typically use a Kanban board. Could be digital, could be physical.
With columns, like to-do, doing, done.
Yeah, common ones are backlog, in progress, done, maybe blocked. Seeing the workflow visually helps you spot bottlenecks immediately. Where are things getting stuck?
That sounds really useful. What about tools for this?
Oh, tons. For simple visual boards, Trello is super popular and free. Notion can do Kanban boards too, plus handle notes and docs.
I've used Trello. Very intuitive.
It is. If you need more power, maybe for slightly bigger projects or linking tasks, Jira has a generous free tier for small teams.
Okay.
There are game dev specific ones too, like HackPlan, which integrates GDD features, or Codex. Some people use GitHub's issue tracker boards if their project is code heavy.
What about just simple stuff?
Totally valid. Google Docs or Sheets are great for lists, notes, tracking. Miro is fantastic for visual planning, flowcharts, and honestly, never underestimate a physical whiteboard and sticky notes. Great for brainstorming and daily tasks, or even just a simple text file like todo.txt.
So the system matters more than the specific fancy tool.
Absolutely. Find what helps you organize and see your progress.
Okay, let's switch gears. What about the old school way? Waterfall?
Right, the traditional linear sequential approach, like steps down a waterfall you can't easily go back up.
One phase has to be totally finished before the next begins.
Pretty much. Analysis, then design, then development, then testing, deployment, maintenance. Each step locks in the previous one.
Fixed scope, lots of documentation up front.
Exactly. Very formal, very step-by-step.
I guess the advantage is clarity. Everyone knows exactly what's planned.
Yes, it offers a clear structure, well-defined processes, distinct milestones. Planning is comprehensive.
Might be good for projects where requirements absolutely will not change.
Possibly, if the market is stable and the requirements are crystal clear and fixed, but
That's rarely game development, right?
almost never. That's its biggest limitation. Inflexibility. Games need iteration, feedback, discovery during development. Changes in Waterfall are painful and expensive.
And slow.
Very slow. That sequential nature stretches timelines way out. You might finish the game, and the market or the tech has already moved on.
Yeah, like that UEFN example you mentioned, where a fortnight update changes everything.
Exactly. Waterfall makes it really hard to adapt or incorporate feedback midstream. Plus, all that upfront documentation can become outdated fast.
So, probably not the best fit for most UEFN projects. Maybe parts of it, like asset creation, if the specs are super clear.
Yeah, some sources mention using it for very specific, well-defined tasks like asset pipelines where requirements are truly fixed. But for overall game development, usually not ideal.
Which naturally leads us to hybrid models, taking the best of both worlds.
That's the idea, combining elements from different approaches to tailor something that fits the project and the team. It's very common in game dev.
What are the benefits there? More flexibility?
Definitely. Improved flexibility is key. Better collaboration, often by mixing structured planning with iterative execution. Potentially more efficient because you're using the right tool for the right job. And better risk management, balancing structure with adaptability.
Okay, what do these hybrids look like?
Well, a common one is Agile Waterfall hybrid. You might use Waterfall for the high-level overall planning, setting the big vision.
Like the main game concept and goals.
Right. Then use Agile, maybe Scrum or Kanban, for the actual development of features within that larger plan, iterating on the details.
Makes sense for bigger projects.
It can, yeah. Another approach is focusing on iterative and incremental development, breaking the whole thing into smaller pieces, building and releasing them incrementally.
Getting feedback faster.
Exactly. Faster time to market for parts of the game, better quality through testing loops, less risk. We also see lean agile hybrids bringing in lean principles to cut waste and maximize value combined with Agile's flexibility.
Lean, like for manufacturing.
Yep, lean principles, we can touch on that more. And even Kanban Scrum hybrids using Kanban's visual flow with Scrum's roles and ceremonies.
Are studios actually doing this? Like, for real?
Oh, absolutely. The sources give a great example.
Yeah.
Massive Entertainment, the Ubisoft studio.
What do they do?
They have a hybrid system. They use something called a feature sign-off process, kind of like that GDD or Game Design Bible for high-level planning and agreement. But then for actual production, they adapt. Simple, clear tasks like creating character art might follow a straight timeline, more like Waterfall.
Because the requirements are fixed.
Right. But for complex gameplay features, they switch to an iterative way. They form cross-functional strike teams who prototype, test, and refine constantly.
So they're surgically applying different methods.
That's a perfect way to put it. Applying the right approach to the right challenge. That's the power of hybrid thinking.
Okay, so we've got the how of building, but what about the what and why? You mentioned lean earlier. Let's touch on these design thinking frameworks.
Yeah, these aren't project management methodologies per se, but they complement them really well. Lean development focuses on maximizing customer value, so player value, while minimizing waste.
Waste meaning wasted time, wasted effort, features nobody wants.
All of the above. Its principles include defining value from the player's perspective, mapping your workflow, the value stream, to see where waste occurs.
Finding the bottlenecks.
Exactly. Then creating a better future state, implementing improvements, and always continuously improving. It fosters a culture of refinement.
How does that look in practice for a UAM dev?
Maybe you map out your process for creating a new game mode. You realize you spend ages tweaking device settings that players don't even notice. That's waste. Lean helps you identify and reduce it. Using retrospectives like start, stop, continue helps embed that continuous improvement.
Okay, focus on value, cut the waste. What about the double diamond? Sounds fancy.
It's a visual model, really helpful for the design phase itself. It highlights exploring the problem before jumping to the solution.
2 diamonds. How does that work?
The first diamond is problem finding. You start wide, discover, exploring user needs, brainstorming issues. Then you narrow down to pinpoint the actual problem you're trying to solve for your players.
So just assume you know the problem.
Right. Then the second diamond is problem solving. You start wide again, develop brainstorming lots of potential solutions. Then you narrow again, deliver refining and choosing the best solution to implement.
So explore the problem, define it clearly, then explore solutions, deliver the best one.
Precisely. It stresses that understanding the why the player need or engagement hook is as critical as building the what. It's great for UX, product design, all relevant to making compelling game experiences.
Okay, wow. Lots of models, frameworks, ideas. So pulling it all together, what does this actually mean for you, the UAFN or Fortnite creative developer listening right now? How do you choose?
Yeah, that's the key question. And the answer is, it depends. There's no single magic bullet.
You got to look at your project.
Exactly. Assess crucial factors. What's the scope and complexity? A small death run map is very different from a huge, persistent RPG-light experience. What's your team size and structure? Are you solo? Or a small team of 3? That changes how you coordinate.
What about who you're building for?
Right. Stakeholder expectations. Is it just for fun? For a client? For the Discover tab? That influences things. And crucially, how much flexibility do you need? Game dev often thrives on adapting to new ideas during creation.
So assess your situation, basically.
Yeah. And be honest about your own experience and comfort level, too. Many smaller teams and solo devs find that flexibility is paramount.
Which brings us back to those tools. It sounds like for many UFN creators, something visual and flexible like Kanban might be a great starting point.
Often, yes. Tools like Trello, Notion, Jira's free tier, Hackplan, Codex, they align well with that need for visual tracking and flexibility.
Or even just Google Docs or a whiteboard.
Absolutely. The system you create for yourself, the habit of organizing and tracking, that's often more vital than the specific software. Find what clicks for you.
So to recap this deep dive, we've looked at Agile, Waterfall, hybrid models, powerful structures for managing the work. And we touched on Lean in the double diamond frameworks for thinking smarter about what you build and why.
The big takeaway should be that these aren't rigid prisons. They're toolkits, frameworks to help you channel that amazing creativity, structure the chaos, and actually finish your projects.
It's about making the process support the creativity, not hinder it.
Exactly. And remember, every single line of verse you write, every prop you place, every design choice, it's all contributing to something potentially awesome. Embracing some kind of structure, whatever works for you, doesn't just help you ship the project, it frees up your mental energy to focus on making it truly shine, engaging, and fun for your players.
Well said. Okay, so here's your mission, should you choose to accept it. Pick just one small thing you're working on, or a new idea, maybe a new weapon mechanic, a small puzzle area, a minigame concept. And for just 1 week, try organizing its development using a really simple Kanban approach. Use Trello, Notion, a spreadsheet, even sticky notes on your monitor. Just try creating columns like to do, doing, done. Visualize the work. Try to limit how much is in doing it once. See how it feels.
Just experiment. See if visualizing your progress helps you stay focused and motivated.
Exactly. Keep learning. Keep experimenting with these ideas. Find your flow. Thanks so much for joining us on this deep dive into Project Superpowers.